Hey, I'm Jenny Kanoki, and I am on my spring break. So I am videoing this from my kitchen slash, you can also see my living room back there. And I am a first grade teacher at Fairfield, and Fairfield has all of our grades all on one campus. So we have preschool threes all the way up through 12th grade, all on the same campus. Our gyms, our track and football field, our central office, it's all on one campus. And so that makes us unique compared to the setup of some other school districts and towns. But what makes us even more unique is that we are not in a town. We are completely out in the country. Fairfield is made up of 6 communities that went together. So it's Sylvia, Plevna, Langdon, Abbeville, Arlington, and Turon. And so it makes for some really interesting challenges sometimes when you're trying to do something as minor in the summer, because I'm also the head high school volleyball coach and cheer coach. Something as minor as having summer weights or summer practices, I have to take a lot into consideration of how people are going to travel to Fairfield. And so that's something that probably is, I would say, our biggest thing is travel time and where towns are set up. It helps us decide whether we're going to have a 1 hour delay, a 2 hour delay, whether we need to cancel school, whether we can have practice at this time of day, because nobody walks or rides a bike to Fairfield because it's several miles from each town to Fairfield. And so that's something that we have to take into account when we set up meetings for IEPs, when we're asking a parent to come pick up a sick kid, is that, not only are the towns farther away, but also most people don't work in the town that they live in because there's not very many businesses within each town. And so most parents work, 20, 30, 45 minutes away. So we have to take that into account when we set things up, what we ask from parents. We also have to, have patience when it comes to, taking care of their sick child until they can get there to pick them up and take them home. And so things like that just present unique challenges for Fairfield. And I think for any school district, you just have to remember what you're asking out of people. And so I think another way that you can not accomplish that, but what you have to remember is, if you want people to show up to your ball games, to parent teacher conferences, to, IEP meetings, you have to show them how much this stuff matters to you. You have to show them that their kid matters to you, that the success of the school, that, you really care about whether people feel safe and valued, what we're doing to make sure that, the students and staff members and teachers and coaches and secretaries and cooks, everybody that goes involved into making a school, that, they feel safe, that they feel successful, that we are providing the tools that we need. And, how you can accomplish that is by including a lot of community members. One of the biggest things that has happened at Fairfield in the past few years is we had a bond issue go through. And that bond issue would not have gone through without our FPO. Some schools call it their PTO. Ours stands for Falcon Parent Organization. And those people went door to door and they handed out pamphlets and just gave, blueprint maps of what we wanted to expand and add on. And it took a lot of time and commitment. And what makes that even more remarkable is that it wasn't just one town that organization had to go to. They had to hit up 6 different towns. And so it's really impressive that, they took the time to do that, and it shows their level of commitment and care to Fairfield. And when you have things like a bond issue go through, it shows how much people in the communities and the towns, appreciate Fairfield. One of the ways that I try to show my own personal gratitude, something that I'm practicing as somebody who wants to be a principal someday is when I am at a event, whether it's parent teacher conferences or an IEP meeting or a ball game that I'm not coaching at. I thank people for coming, especially the parents and the grandparents, but I really try to talk to the people that are there just to support our school. I make them understand, okay, not make them understand, but I try to show them how much I value them coming, how much I value the fact that they gave up their time to come to the school and show their support for their child, for a classroom, for the sports team that is playing. And so I think that's one of the biggest things that people, can't forget these days, is just don't forget to show your gratitude when people show up to the school, when they support the school. Thank them. That goes a long way. Just the simple sentence, thank you for coming. And so that's something that I really try to express in my job. Um, my advice for communication would be, be willing to adapt. When you're needing to communicate, talk to the parents, talk to the students. I talk to my athletes, talk to the parents. What's going to be the best way? Is it, a quick email? Is it I have messages on my team. I have a volleyball team page, and then I have a cheer team page. And so I'll put information on that. That way I can just get the information out to everybody. Our superintendent uses the same thing with our USD 310 Facebook page. I know other people that use Class Dojo. I know there are some other apps out there like Thrill Share that our school uses. And so I think as technology evolves and develops, just be willing to adapt to it. Be willing to change from year to year. We still hand out paper copies, and, I still send papers home and keep calendars in my kids' folders. But I also adapt, and I use technology pieces to, get information out to parents and to my athletes and to just, general Fairfield supporters. And so that would be my biggest piece of advice is, just be willing to adapt, change from year to year. Make sure that you are staying up with the times, that you're keeping up with all the different generations. Don't just use technology and keep up with what students, are communicating with. Make sure that you are still getting information out to the parents and the grandparents. And so that's going to take some time, and it's going to mean that you're probably going to have to put that information on a few different platforms. But, if you want your school to be successful, if you want to feel that support from, your community, or in our case, communities, you have to be willing to put that time in so that people feel valued, that they feel, that their presence at Fairfield is appreciated. And so that's really all I have. Thank you for watching.